Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are finally reading the infamous, the one and only Carmilla. I have wanted to read this for a very long time. Little known fact, have never ever read Dracula before, and I'm very excited to read Carmilla and then potentially in the future read Dracula. Carmilla is a Sapphic Dracula inspired romance. That's not right. I should just read it. The dark Sapphic romance that inspired Dracula. It's already written for me. I don't need to reinvent the wheel. So I'm very excited for this one. Essentially, we are following in a lonely castle deep in the forest. Laura leads a solitary life with only her ailing father for company until one moonlit night a carriage arrives bearing an unexpected guest, the beautiful Carmilla. So begins a feverish friendship between Laura and her mysterious companion. But as Carmilla becomes increasingly strange and volatile, Laura finds herself tormented by nightmares and growing weaker by the day. Sounds so good, sounds so interesting. I'm very excited to read this and finally read the Sapphic vampire story I've always wanted. So follow me along. This is going to be a spoiler-filled vlog where I read it and I tell you whatever I want about it. So I'm not going to oh, well, I don't want to say this because of a spoiler, but blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to tell you whatever I feel like telling you. In my last spoiler-filled vlog, I just posted that one. You can see it here. It is the Raven Scholar. I realized that I did a thing where I basically just summarized the book the whole time. Instead of just really telling y'all the things that were important or mattered to me, I just kind of summarized everything that was happening. And I didn't really love that. I didn't really love that experience. And I think it's because I also broke it out into parts instead of breaking it out just naturally how I wanted to. And so I was like, okay, I just need to summarize each part instead of just explaining what I liked about it or what I didn't like or what it made me think about. So that's what we'll be doing with this book. This is a lot shorter too, so I feel like this could be a little bit of an easier spoiler vlog for me and a better test on how I want to format these. I also need to take notes. I learned from the last vlog that I didn't take notes and I couldn't remember people's names and I couldn't remember how to pronounce them and I couldn't remember where they were from. And it's not a fault of me not being able to remember what was going on in the story, but I just am bad with names and I'm bad with titles of things. I'm just not good at remembering the important piece of a detail. But I got the gist, you know what I'm saying? So all that to say, I'm ready. I'm gonna not yip yap too long and we're just gonna jump straight into reading Carmilla. Hopefully this helps with the pop sound. We're gonna find out together. Come here, come closer to me, child of mine. All right, hello guys. Welcome to an update. Today it is Wednesday, the 17th. Last night I finally finished editing and uploaded my spoiler-filled vlog for the Raven Scholar. If you haven't watched it, you can watch it here. I will say that I'm not very happy with the outcomes of that movie? Girl, I'm a little pretentious. I'm gonna try and do something a little bit different with this spoiler-filled vlog for the book that we're reading, Carmilla. I'm very much enjoying this already. I have read the first chapter. I believe there's like 8 chapters in this story, so they're very shorty patorty. I think it's 16 chapters. So there's 16 chapters. I'm on chapter 1. I'm not going to do the same thing I did with the last video where I break down each chapter or each part of the book. I'm not doing that. I'm going to read, and when I feel like I've got something to say, I'll come back and say something. But essentially what we are doing in Carmilla, we're following a girl, Laura, who is telling us the story. We do start out with a prologue about someone who has like read the story or knows the story and is wanting to retell it to us. It's very much giving Wuthering Heights vibes. And I think that's just a sign of the time that these books were written in, where it's someone telling you the story of something that they've learned. So I think that's just, again, like I said, a sign of the time for when these books were written. Carmilla was written in 1881 and 82, I believe, and it was published in a newspaper as like a short story type of thing, and later became published in an actual book format. So this is believed to have been the inspiration for Dracula, which is... Can I hold the book? Girl. Which makes sense to me because this is following a vampiric situation. I will say, as you all know, I have not read Dracula, so I wouldn't know if it's similar to Dracula or not in any way. This, from what I know of Dracula, because I've watched Dracula type movies and things like that. So what I know of Dracula, based on all of the movies that I've watched, is that we have a vampire who lives in a castle and he feeds on people in some way. And essentially our main character, Laura, lives in a castle in the middle of nowhere, if you will. And basically we're just following her, telling us the story of how she meets Carmilla. She tells us a story about how she woke up and there was this weird ass woman kneeling at the side of her bed and had her hands under her blanket, and the lady like smiled at her, and keeping in mind Laura was a child. I think she was 9 is what I think her age was at the time that this happens. And she's just like, the woman smiles at her, so she feels chill about it, and the woman gets in the bed with her and they snuggle until she falls asleep. I don't know what y'all were doing back in the 1800s. Y'all is in the ghosts watching this video. I don't know what people were doing back then, but let me tell you how much I'm not about to feel comforted, even as a 9-year-old, of some rando person with their arms in my bed being like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna snuggle with this stranger that I've never met before. And maybe it's a sign of the times, you guys, okay? Maybe it's a sign of the times, and maybe our brains have been hardwired to perceive strangers as just that. But she, like, as a 9-year-old, 9? Y'all, I can remember being 9. Ain't no damn way I'm letting some rando person who's lurking on the edge of my bed in bed with me. I'm screaming. I'm screaming if some pale ass woman is just chilling on the side of my bed looking at me like this with her hands in my blanket. No. Ain't no fucking way, bro. Ain't no damn way. Anyway, Lauren snuggles with this woman. Lauren falls asleep. Her name's Laura. Laura falls asleep, and I'm assuming this is Carmilla, and she wakes up because something has stabbed her in her chest, like 2 needles at the same time. And she wakes up and she screams, and the woman's still laying next to her. Oh, y'all, there's a whole ass frog in my office right now. I just saw this little baby frog. He's jumping around in my office. We have to catch him. Okay, break, pause, froggy pause, break. Break for a froggy pause. Oh my god, I don't know if y'all are gonna be able to see him without me like fully scaring him away, but he's sitting there. I'll zoom in if I can post edits. But there's a little guy, he's like sitting on that little wire. So I'm gonna catch him and get him the fuck out of my house. I already had to get a frog out of here earlier because my cat tried to murder it. He's a murderer. Oh no, he fell. There he is. Okay. Hey, little guy. Come here, little froggy frog. I don't want you to get eaten by my cat. I got him. Okay. Oh my gosh. I got him. I'm gonna go put him outside. Have fun, little frog. Enjoy your life. We're back. We're locked in. I apologize for that brief intermission. I live in the middle of nowhere. I told y'all. I've been telling you. I don't know why you don't listen to me. I don't know why you don't believe me when I say things, but I told you that I live in the middle of nowhere. I live so much in the middle of nowhere, and it's been raining nonstop. There's actually a tropical storm that's supposed to be hitting at some point this evening. Hopefully it doesn't, but it seems like it's going to. And the side of Texas that I live in is where it's going to be hitting. So I'm very anxious about that. But either way, I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's been raining a shit ton. And we have a ditch in front of our house that's constantly ever present, full of baby frogs. Just tadpoles everywhere. And so my house gets swarmed in the summertime by little baby frogs, little tree frogs, little bitty guys. They're everywhere. And they love hanging out on my doors. And you know what, guys? I don't mind. I love a frog. I like them so much because they eat all the nasty ass bugs around me that I don't want around me. So I let them live and thrive. They're in my garage. Clearly they're in my house. They shouldn't be in here though. Literally my cat, I don't know how one got in here, but one got in here, and I was cleaning and I'm moving around the house and I see my cat messing with something and I'm like, oh boy, what do you got? And I realized it's a little baby frog, and I was like, oh no, did you kill the little baby frog? And I don't know if it was dead or not, but I carried it outside and I put it in the, right in front of the grass so that in case it was dead, I could move him later. But when I went out to leave to go pick up my daughter, it was gone. So, hopefully it survived and it didn't get carried away by an ant or a spider or something. We had a little snake on our front porch the other day. I was walking outside with my husband and my daughter to put her in the car to go to daycare, and there was a little ribbon snake in my front yard. I was like, oh my God, it's a snake. And my husband hates snakes. He absolutely hates them. And I was like, it's so cute though. It was little. I don't have a problem with snakes. I don't want none in my house. Let's be clear. I don't want snakes in my home, but I don't have a problem with a snake outside. Let it be outside. As long as it's outside and it's not going to be in my way or my child's way, a snake can be outside all it wants to. Anyway, side tangent. Sorry, I kicked you. I didn't mean to. Maybe I did. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so Laura wakes up because this bitch bit her. And she freaks the fuck out. And her maids and servants come in and they're like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And she told them what happened, and they're assuring her that that's not possible. But then they're also checking under the bed and looking in the closet and talking about how they feel like there was a warm spot where someone had laid next to her. They're like, no, you were dreaming. Everyone's trying to basically tell her it wasn't real. You're just seeing things. It was a dream. Her dad even tells her she was dreaming. She made it up. The maids try to tell her a story about how it was one of them, and she just couldn't see her face very well because it was dark. And she's like, I don't believe none of them because I know what I saw. I know what happened to me. Which, girl, yes, believe what you believe, but also, I'm not going to victim blame you, but why the fuck did you wet that woman in your bed? I'm not victim blaming. Fully victim blaming. I am. Obviously, this is not a true story, so, whatever. But all that to say is Laura then is watched until she's 14 years old by a maid of some sort every single night. Someone's in her room with her. So this incident never happens again, at least up until she's 14, from what I've read in chapter 1. So she has priests come and pray for her. She has doctors that are coming to see her because she's just she can't get over it. Since she was 9, she has not been able to get over this thing. So very interesting story so far. I'm interested to see how this turns into a lesbian relationship. That's what I'm interested in. I just want the lesbian relationship of it all. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, very much enjoying it so far. I'm having a great time. I had originally checked out the audiobook on Libby. Because it took me so long to get through The Raven Scholar, it lapsed and I had to let it go. It was due back this morning at 8:30. So I was like, okay, well, I think Audible allows you to listen to classics for free. So I got on there and they have a Carmilla, but it ain't this Carmilla. I was flip-flopping back and forth trying to figure out where they were at and where I was at in my story. And I'm like, that says chapter 1, but that's not what chapter 1 of this book is. And it only had like 3 chapters. It was very confusing. There is I looked on Libro FM. It's also a paid version. I'm like, I'm not paying for it. I know it's a classic. Like, it should be for free. I already have the book. So then I went on YouTube, and YouTube never fails you. And I found the audiobook for it on YouTube. And so far, the audiobook's pretty good. It's not one of those like robot-y sounding voices. It's like a real person reading the story. So I'm enjoying it. I'm liking the audiobook that I've found. So there's that. That's my update on that. I have some other bookish updates for you. I got my final, sadly, as of so far, my final aardvark book. And that is Headlights by CJ Lead. I'm sorry, I can't. Look, I'm having a hard time, okay? I guess this is her. She just fully put herself riding on a cowboy. Y'all, I swear I'm okay. I promise I'm fine. She just put a picture of her riding on a fucking horse on the back. Instead of putting it on the inside flap on her About Me shit, she put it on the fucking back of this book cover. I don't like that. I'll be liking that. Ooh, I do like the naked cover of the book though. That's pretty. It's got like some silvery flecks in it, and I don't know if it's supposed to or if that's just like, if it's dirty. It low-key looks like someone like wiped something on it. I can't fucking tell. But I like the ombre. That's nice. And it's a soft matte. I love a soft matte cover, y'all. So very excited for this one. This is one of my anticipated reads for 2026. So we've got more to add to the deck, y'all. I'm very excited. And it's a horror. So very excited for that as well. And then I have this guy, which is books that I bought before I lost my job from Book Outlet because they were having a Book Outlet sale. I think it was like $5 a book or something like that. And I was like, yeah. Sign me up for $5 a book for books I already wanted. You can't even buy a book at half price books for $5. You got me. Here I am. $5 at the Book Outlet. So let me show you what I got. I love how this box says that it may contain awesome books. As in, we don't know if it contains awesome books, but like it could possibly. As in, some of these books could be bad. And that's for you to figure out. Let us see what we got from the Book Outlet. I believe I have like 6 books in here. First one, we've got Callie Hart's Brimstone. This is book 2 in the Quicksilver series. I read Quicksilver and I really liked it. Okay. I know some people didn't like it and they had problems with it. I don't know what y'all's problems were. And truthfully, I don't care. I liked Quicksilver. Okay. I like the Fae stuff and I think it's fun and exciting and interesting. So that's how I feel about it. But I did not have the physical copy of Quicksilver. And so I was going to get Quicksilver and Brimstone. And then Quicksilver sold out while I was looking at all the other books. Very, very much upset. Very, very much. Because I wanted this version of them. I loved the original cover, don't get me wrong. The original indie cover that she had with him with like a cum eye drop is what Jordaline called it. Running down his face. I loved that cover. But this is the new cover set. I will say I think this was at Book Outlet because this cover is giving womp womp. You know what I'm saying? Like the colors aren't right. It's very much the colors are wrong. But it's fine. I read the first book, did read that on Kindle back when it was like I said, an indie book. She wasn't with like an official publication yet. So it was free. It was so good. I really loved it. So I'm glad to have this version. I will get the first one at some point. But again, it was like $5, I think, for most of these books. So I got Brimstone for $6. I got a hardback book, 600-page hardback book for $6. And its original price was $30 US, $40 Canadian. That's a good find. That's a good find, especially because I haven't read this book yet. So really exciting for that. It's not like I'm just getting a book trophy, you know? Yeah, all of these books are going to be $6. They were all $6. Next book I have, which I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not excited about this. I'm kind of irritated, but it's going to be okay. Everything's going to be fine. I got the second book I got the third book in I don't even know what the series is called. Empire of the Vampire series, I guess. So I got the third book. I have the first book. I don't have the second book, but the first book I have is paperback. So having this in hardback is kind of like, I don't like that, but you know, again, not a big deal. I am very excited for this series. I've heard a lot of people really, really like this series. So I hope that I also like the series. I love a vampire story. First of all, I love vampires. I will read almost anything about a vampire, unless it's just going to be like very, very gothic boring. Then you're not going to get me to read it. I tried reading, what was it? The Hacienda. I think that's like supposed to be a vampire book. So boring. I DNF'd that so fast. Not for me. For all of you who love, what was it, Sylvia Moreno Garcia? Is that her name? I can't remember. For all y'all who love her though, no shade to you. That's good for you. I'm glad that you have patience and you're kind and forgiving. One of my toxic book traits is that I don't like books that aren't interesting from the beginning. If I'm not interested from the first chapter, more than likely I'm going to end up DNFing that book. It has to grip me immediately. I don't believe in suffering for the sake of suffering. I'm not going to do it. So anyway, Empire of the Dawn, book 3, again, $6, originally $35. And then I also got this book, and I'm going to be very, very, very honest with you. I got this because I liked the cover. I have no other reasons for why I got this book. I just like the cover. I think it's creepy and ooky spooky. Actually, I'm hoping that I don't own this already. I don't think that I do. I hope I don't. If I do, it's fine. Whatever. But I got The Cut by C.J. Dotson. Look at this cover, y'all. You can't tell me that that's not beautiful. It's so spooky, ooky, kooky, gross. Like, it just looks creepy and nasty. What is that? I have to know. It looks so good. What is this story about? Let's find out together. I got this book for $6. Its original retail is $29. And it's a hardback. So there you go. In this chilling supernatural horror novel set in a mysterious hotel, a woman fleeing her abusive ex finds herself running from more than just her past. I do remember reading about that. I do remember. She goes to some hotel, she sees some woman in a pool, and the woman disappears or something, and strange shit starts happening. I don't know. It sounds very interesting. I'm very excited for this one. I am excited to see if I really like that or not. The next book that I got, I have started the series, and I really did like it. I read the first book and I started the second book, but I just never got back to it because I own them on Kindle. But I do own them physically now because my sister-in-law bought 2 of them for me. And I want to continue reading books from this universe. It's a universe type of thing. And the book I got is The Songbird in the Heart of Stone. This is the first book in the Shadowborn duet. I already have the first and second book from the Nightborn duet. This is all from the Crowns of Nyaxia universe. I am excited for this. Like I said, I really loved the first book that I read, which was The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I own The Ashes and the Star-Crossed King. I just have not read that one fully yet. But I did really like The Serpent and the Wings of Night. I thought it was really fun. So I'm excited for this one to see what this is about. I believe it's going to follow, it's going to follow other characters that we met in that first set. So I'm very, very excited for this guy. Again, this is a paperback, retails for $19.99 US. Got it for $6. You can't beat that, man. All right, the next book that I got. I've heard so many great things about this book, and I saw it and I was like, $6. I'll buy it. I'm interested. And that is Daphne by Josh Malerman. I heard that this is it's like an allegory on mental illness or mental health struggles, in the sense that if you think about this person named Daphne, then she will appear kind of thing. And so I think this sounds so interesting. I love this concept. I would love to read this, especially from the idea of it being something that if you think about it, it'll happen kind of thing. The thing that is hardest is you try not to think about it, and try not to think about something, you think about it more. So very, very interested to read this one. It sounds really interesting. I've heard really good things about it. So another horror to add to our collection. I don't know if you're seeing a trend here, but I have quite a bit of horror and fantasy. And you want to know why? Because those are my books. Those are my genre. I'm fully giving in, and I'm not gonna pretend that that's not my thing. I love fantasy and I love horror, and those are just where I live. Okay. Final book is The Fervor by Alma Katsu. I picked this book all on my own. I was not influenced to pick out the fervor. I read the synopsis of it and I was like, yeah, that sounds like a book for me. The horrors of the Japanese American internment camps in World War II. And I was like, yeah, I would love to read about that. In 1944, as World War II rages on, the threat has come to the home front. In a remote corner of Idaho, Miko and her daughter Ayeko, I hope that I'm saying that right, are desperate to return home. Following Mieko's husband's enlistment as an Air Force pilot in the Pacific months prior, they are taken from their home in Seattle and sent to one of the internment camps in the Midwest. It didn't matter that Ayeko was American-born. They were Japanese and therefore considered a threat by the American government. Mother and daughter attempt to hold on to elements of their old life in the camp when a mysterious disease begins to spread among those interned. What starts as a minor cold quickly becomes spontaneous fits of violence and aggression, even death. And when a disconcerting team of doctors arrive, nearly more threatening than the illness itself, Miyako and her daughters team up with a newspaper reporter and widowed missionary to investigate, and it becomes clear to them that something more sinister is afoot, a demon from the stories of her childhood, hell-bent on infiltrating their already strange world. So, sounds very interesting. I'm very excited to read this. I love the idea of, I've said this before, historical lit fics are like something I really like. So the idea that we're doing a historical horror, I think that's really cool. I like that concept. Also, I loved the idea of this being about the Japanese internment camps here in America, the concentration camps that we did. Love to pretend that we didn't also do Nazi things, but that's not true. This country is built on disgusting, disgusting behavior by a bunch of white men, and that's facts. Scared of people who don't look like them, which is crazy work, because they're the ones that are terrifying, if I'm being honest. Anyway. This is an apolitical channel, so don't bring your politics over here, guys. Okay, I've been recording for long enough. I hope that you guys are excited to learn more about Laura and Carmilla and their sexy, smutty, vampiric relationship. I don't know that it's going to be sexy or smutty, you guys, but y'all can't tell me it's a dark sapphic romance. It better have romance. And I hope that this isn't the romance type of romance that people talk about when they say, I mean, it does say sapphic romance. So I really feel like that means romance and not like the Victorian term for romance, romanticizing things, because that's not the same as what we call romance now. So I don't know. We'll see how this turns out. We'll see what kind of shenanigans Laura and Carmilla get into and how lesbian it gets in here. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So if you're excited, follow along. If you've never read this and you do want to read it, please know that I will be spoiling this book in this video. So if you've never read it and you do want to read it, this might not be the video for you today. Okay? I'm telling you now, guys. Don't come for me when I spoil the ending of this book and you're like, oh, I was going to read it. That's your fault for continuing to watch beyond this point. Okay? You've been warned. I don't want to hear nothing about it in the comments. Y'all, I'm feeling very spicy today. I don't know what's going on. I'm feeling very kooky, silly, goofy, fun time. So anyway, I'm going to sit my little butt down here and I'm going to read Carmilla. I'm hoping that I can actually finish this today. It's 2:45 on a Wednesday. This is like a 3-hour book. Like, it shouldn't take me long. Famous last words, as you know. Obviously, I'm kind of behind in my schedule for the month due to my job layoff throwing off everything in my life. So I want to kind of try and catch up where I can, how I can. I have a few books that I was also planning to read, just a single book at a time. So I think I might end up trying to combine some of those to like help that process go a little bit faster, and we'll see. But I don't have a job still. I guess an update on that. I still don't have a job. I have an interview tomorrow, Thursday afternoon, and then I have another interview Monday afternoon. No, sorry, Monday morning. So I have 2 interviews for 2 companies that I met with last week. The job that I'm meeting for tomorrow is a fully remote job, doing exactly what I was doing before. I love that idea. They are located in Boston, so there is the potential that I could have to travel to Boston at some points for like corporate meetings or something like that, which I'm totally down for. I would love to go to Boston if they would be willing to pay for it. I would definitely travel there. I want to go to Massachusetts so bad. I really want to go to Salem, to be specific. So if they want to invite me to Boston, if I get this job, y'all best believe I'm going to Salem in a heartbeat. Oh my God. It's one of the only reasons I even want this stupid job, which is crazy pants, by the way. Other than the fact that it's remote. I do want a remote job. I like having this remote lifestyle that I had before. I think that's really nice. I do think that I need to engage with people more, so I'm working on coming up with better plans and structures for my life. Other thing with this job is that it is on an Eastern time zone, so I will be starting work earlier, but that means I'll be finishing work earlier, which I also like. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what happens when I meet with the director tomorrow. I say all that to say, those are my job updates. I'm going to read some more of Carmilla. I might take a break here and there to apply for some jobs, see what I can find. I need to put these books away. We'll see how the rest of the day treats us. Hello, dear friends. We are gathered here today in this dark ass room because, y'all, seriously and honestly, one, ignore my moo-moo, okay? I had this moo-moo because this is a silly story and it doesn't even matter, but I'm going to tell you anyway. One of my best friends got married and we went to California for her bachelorette party, and we all decided we all wanted to buy moo-moos. So we all bought moo-moos together at Walmart, and this is the one that I chose. It has pockets and I absolutely love it. It's the ugliest thing ever and I love it. So there's that. Anyway, I'm here to update you because what the actual fuck is this? You guys, what is this book? Let me just tell you, Laura and her daddy are the dumbest people I have ever read about in my entire life. The entirety of my existence, I have never ever met someone so freaking dumb. Look, okay, here's the thing. Laura and her dad are on a little walkie walk. It's nighttime. They're walking around the property at night. They run into some neighbors and something happens. We see a horse and buggy coming our way and it's going way too fast and it's turning this corner way too fast and it turns this corner and it flips over and a woman falls out of the carriage, and it's a woman and her daughter. The daughter flies out of the carriage. And this woman is like, oh my gosh, they're freaking out about this young girl who has fallen out of this carriage. And basically the dad is like, come over to my house. Just like, your daughter could just come to my house and it'll be so much fun and we'll get to hang out. I recently watched Heated Rivalry. Y'all, I'm so obsessed with that show. I've watched it multiple times at this point. It's not my first rodeo, but I really, really love that show, and it's one of my favorites, and it makes me just so happy to watch. I'm literally giggling and gaggling and kicking my little feet watching them have like their little relationship, and I just absolutely love it. I love that show, and I cannot wait for season 2. I hope that it is just as good, if not better. But anyway, about the story. So, He's like, bring your daughter can come stay with me at my house. And the woman's like, I'm going to be gone for 3 months. And he's like, that's totally chill. Sir, what? What's totally chill? What do you mean it's totally chill to have this rando kid stay at your home for 3 months? What were y'all doing in the Victorian era is what I'm trying to understand. I'm really just trying to understand what y'all were on, what y'all were doing, because the fact that y'all just really just believed that women and girls were not a threat at all and that things were totally cool and chill and fine with women just being women because they were innocent and small and dainty and incapable of harming others or being malicious. Like, be so for real. Be so serious right now. Anyway, so he's like, she can totally stay with me. The woman like whispers something in his ear. She jumps in her carriage and she disappears. She fucking leaves her kid with a stranger, mind you. He don't know this kid and this kid don't know them. The families don't know each other. They've never met in their lives. And this woman's like, yeah, totally chill. Gonna let my kid come and hang out for 3 months with this rando dude. Anyway, we take this random bitch home. Her name's Carmilla, obviously. We take her home with us and they put her in a room. They have a doctor come. Doctor's like, she's totally fine. She's going to be super good and great. She's totally cool. At this point, Laura hasn't seen her face. She hasn't actually seen this girl's face. She hasn't been able to talk to her. She goes into this room to finally meet this girl face to face and basically ends up looking at her and realizing, holy shit, that's that bitch that was in my bed when I was 9. What do you mean? By the way, what do you mean? Why was she in, like, you see her face and you're like, oh my God, that's her. And y'all both recognize each other and you just continue to be chill about it. I like this. This is so unserious. This story can't be real. And if people were doing shit like this back then, which I know for a fact that they were, because there's all kinds of true crime shit from this time era where people thought nobody was a stranger. Someone knew them so they were super good people. If one person could vouch for you, you were golden. And that's silly and stupid and dumb. Anyway, so Carmilla, they like exchange their story. Carmilla tells her how she happened to have a dream about her. And she's like, yeah, I didn't have a dream about you because I'm definitely sure I saw you in person. And she was like, Carmilla was like, well, let me tell you about what happened on my side of the story. And so she tells her story. And then Laura's like, yeah, that's pretty much what I remember as well, except for you bit me, bitch. Keeping in mind, y'all, ain't nobody saying none of these words. This is fully my adaptation of this book. And so then Carmella's like, you know, you're really fucking beautiful, right? And Laura's like, who, me? It's so fucking gay. It's so gay and it's so funny because this is so unserious. This is the most unserious shit I've ever seen. Y'all really wanted to get 2 girls. By the way, mind you, these girls are underage. They are minors. So that feels gross. I'm not going to lie to you. It feels gross to be reading a story about underage girls who are in love with each other. But so be it. Everyone also keeps remarking on how absolutely beautiful Carmilla is. She's the most beautiful person they've ever seen in their entire lives. Even the father. Even the grown maids. It's giving yuck. Anyway, that's where I'm at right now. This book is so crazy and wild. Currently, Carmilla and Laura are having their first real day together, and Laura's going to tell us all about how their first day together went and how they talked about how like both of them were hesitant about the other, and it's because they were like a little bit afraid and a little bit like, oh my gosh, about recognizing each other. Also, Carmella's story about how she came to be in Laura's room was basically that she was sleeping and then she woke up in someone else's room. And then she was just so enthralled with how beautiful Laura was that she wanted to get in bed with her. Gay. And so they do. And then Laura screams and Carmella's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And she tumbles out of bed and she closes her eyes, and when she opens her eyes again, she's back in her own bedroom. And that's why she thought it was a dream. You're not gonna fool me. Also, we do learn that there was someone else that was apparently in the carriage with the mother of Carmilla. And they said that she looked like a haggard, beat down, busted, bad built body bitch. That she looked fucking mean. and angry and ugly and scary. So I don't know who that was, but I have a feeling that's actually Carmilla's mom and not the bitch that said, here, have my daughter. Oh, she also, when she whispered in the dad's ear, she told him, basically, my daughter ain't gonna tell you shit about us. She's not gonna tell you who we are, where we're from, or where we're going. So good luck with that. And he was just like super chill about it. And the daughter, when he tells her the story, she's like, Dad, what the fuck? That's weird as fuck to say. And he's like, I know, let me finish telling you what else she said. And she basically said something about how her daughter has some kind of issue, but it's not like anything super serious. And so like, she should be fine. And the girl's like, Dad, that's so fucking weird that she said that. And he's like, yeah, anyway, you can go hang out with her if you want. Come here. Come here to me. What's wrong with y'all? What are we doing? What are we actually doing? Come here, come closer. I don't understand what's going on. Back up, you're too close. This book can't be real. It can't be serious. Obviously it's not real, right? It's not real. It's a fake story. But if I was born in 1881 when this story came out, 1882. If I was born back then, I would have probably been giggling and cackling with my little feet, laying on my bed with my feet up, kicking my feet. Because this is the silliest shit I've ever read. And you're not going to convince me otherwise. I don't think that this is... The only thing that's terrifying and scary about this book is that these two grown-ass parents were like, yeah, it's cool. You can have my kid for 3 months. And then the dad also had the nerve and the gall and the gumption to be like, I hope I didn't make a mistake by letting her stay here. You know that you fucked up letting her stay here. You shouldn't have invited some rando bitch you've never met before to live in your fucking house. What's wrong with you? And it's not like she's living in your house for like a day or two while her mom runs into town to get some medicine. She's gone for 3 fucking months, bro. 3 fucking months. Crazy work. Also, she had a friend, Laura had a friend that was supposed to be coming to stay with her, but the bitch died. She died and she ain't make it. And the dad of the girl wrote a letter and Laura thinks this bitch is coming. And the dad was like, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want to make you sad. But like, good thing you didn't know her. And she's like, what the fuck, Dad? That's a weird thing to say. And he's like, well, like, cause if you had known her, then it would have been even sadder if you had gotten to like be friends. Y'all are some weird ass fucking people. I don't know what is up with this family, but there's some weirdos. There's some fucking weirdos. So yeah, I am enjoying myself. I'm not gonna lie to you. I am enjoying myself. Am I gonna finish this tonight? No, I'm not. I don't want to. I plan to read this tomorrow morning while my daughter is at daycare. I'm gonna sit my little happy butt on the couch and I'm gonna read and update you when anything weird and stupid and silly happens, and I'll finish it tomorrow. I don't want to finish it tonight. It is already 10:30 and I would like to get myself in bed and I want to play a game. I have my little Switch and I would like to play a game on my Switch while I listen to this 2-hour episode on Rotten Mango podcast about that crazy ass girl who killed her boyfriend and his friend, Mackenzie Shirelia. I think there was a Netflix documentary that was just released about her story. I didn't watch it and I'm not gonna, but I am gonna watch Rotten Mango's take on this because they have all of the documents. And I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I do feel like the story that I'm gonna get from the Rotten Mango team is going to be so much less bias in comparison to what Netflix is going to produce, because I started watching the Netflix doc that they released of the Michael Jackson story about like him being a pedophile, and I realized I was watching something else, and like I'm watching it and I'm like, oh my god, this is so like I can't believe these things happened, like that he said these things on live television and like let this stuff come out and be aired like this. And I was just like, that's crazy. But then I saw Netflix like edited this interview that they shared in the documentary. They edited this interview that he had like before he died, and it was like him and this kid, and they edited it to make it seem like Michael Jackson's forcing kids to sleep with him when they don't want to in his bed. But like if you watch the full interview, he talks about how like the kids want to sleep in his bed, and he sleeps on the floor so that the kids can so the kids can sleep in his bed, and he'll just sleep on the floor. And the kid was like, yeah, but I didn't want him to sleep on the floor. I wanted him to sleep with me in the bed. And he's like, I'm not sleeping with you in the bed. I'm going to sleep on the floor if you want to sleep in the bed. And like they edit and chop up that interview to make it look like this kid was saying that Michael Jackson's forcing him to sleep in the bed with him. I don't know whether Michael Jackson was assaulting children or not. That is not for me to say. Is it inappropriate that you're sleeping in the same room as a kid that is not your child? Yeah, I do think that's highly inappropriate and very weird. It's very weird behavior. Do I think that Netflix had very malicious intent by cutting and clipping the video the way that they did? Yeah, absolutely disgusting. That's disgusting behavior. Let the shit be what it is. I don't like this like rage bait click farm bullshit that they keep doing with these documentaries and these interviews and these series. Is like, show the whole thing. Show all of it. Don't splice it up to make it seem like something it's not. And it's one thing to like cut something down because it's just too long and you need to like shorten it for contextual purposes. Totally get that. But when you're shortening it so much that it's no longer in context and it seems like something it's not, that's fucked up. And I don't like that shit. So I'm not going to be watching the Netflix documentary about this girl. But I am going to watch the Rotten Mango 5-part series, by the way. Girl, I don't know why it needs to be 5 parts, but she said she got a FOIA request, and she requested all the documents, and they sent her like all kinds of shit, all these girls' Snapchats, all her text messages, her Snapchat logs, her DMs, her like everything. So she has all of this information. So I'm excited, not excited, like excited to like see. I used to be like super obsessed with true crime, and I kind of fell out of it because I was like, it's a weird space to be in, but this case is very interesting to me. So anyway, I'm going to watch that documentary while I play games on my Switch instead of reading tonight, because that's what I want to do. And life is about whimsy and fun and doing what you want. Also behind me, I can see behind you. If you turn around, you want to turn around? Just kidding. You can't turn around. Behind y'all are all the books that I wanted to read for this month's reading videos. And I want to read these books. I want to pick them up so badly. I want to read all of these books. I wish that there was a way that I could just, have y'all seen that? There's like a reel or TikTok or something, and it's this dude and he's like, I'm the fastest reader. I can read books and 8 books in 6 seconds. And he like takes the book. Hold on, I'm going to show you. He takes the book and does this. He does that with like all of the books as he like looks through them. He just goes, oh, reading really fast, like fucking stupid shit. That's how I wish I could read. I do wish I could read like that sometimes, because I want to read so much. I want to read so many books, but I also want to play games on my phone. Ugh, it's such a hard life that I live. So I'll see y'all in the morning whilst I'm eating breakfast and reading this book, and eating lunch and reading this book. Bye. Hello. Off camera Angel here. I'm going to be making a matcha today. And it's one I saw a recipe for on Instagram just a moment ago, and I feel like I want to try it. I don't have all the right tools to make matcha, so there's that. But I'm going to do what I can with what I've got. I have some Tea Republic, whatever, the Republic of Tea matcha that I have. I don't know that that's great matcha, but it's what I've got. All right. I don't have the like matcha whisk, but I have like a regular whisk. We're going to use what we've got. I also have a frother if I need it. And I have this little strainer. This came from like an alcohol thing. So I'm going to use that to strain out the matcha, and a measuring spoon. And we're just going to see what I can do here. I want to make it, it's a salted maple matcha. And it sounds delicious. I love savory things. So the idea of putting salt and maple syrup in a matcha sounds delicious to me. So let's make the matcha and see what happens. I showed y'all the wrong one. This is the matcha. I had the green tea, but also still by the Republic of Tea. So I don't know if this is the best one. It says premium Japanese stone ground matcha tea powder. So I don't know. It says it's Japanese, but I don't know. We'll see. like a pasty consistency like I saw the person do. So we've got that, which is good. I gotta get more hot water, but then I'm gonna put it over this almond milk. This is the almond milk that I get. Not almond, it's oat milk. Oat milk I get. I like this because it's creamier and thicker than almond milk. But this is the barista lovers version of the Planet oat milk. It's amazing. I love it. It's my favorite. I use it for my chai teas as well. All right, rest of our hot water. I'm an icy bitch, so I got a nice amount of ice. And now let's pour in our maple syrup. It's so funny because I don't usually have maple syrup. I specifically bought this for my daughter because she loves pancakes. And so I was like, oh, I'll just get her maple syrup that's better than pancake cornstarch syrup. Cornstarch? Cornstarch. Corn syrup. I have flaky salt. The girl I saw just used like a crushed salt situation, but I'm just gonna put some flaky salt in there because that sounds like the right path. I'm measuring with my heart. We got our oat milk. Good. Now our matcha. Yeah, that's so watery. Okay, a straw. Brown glass straw that works perfect for the maple syrup of it all. Mix it up. Mixity mix mix. I want to make sure that syrup is really well mixed. All right. Moment of truth. Let's see. Not gonna lie to y'all. Tastes like ass cheeks. I put too much flaky salt, and I don't taste the syrup even a little bit. Like I taste zero maple syrup. I taste salt and grass. That's better. Okay. I just didn't have enough maple syrup in it. It tastes much better now. It's more sweet than salty. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Will I make it again? We're gonna be honest with ourselves and say no. Not until at least potentially I get a better grade of matcha, because that matcha is not great. But you work with what you got. And that's what I did. I've already got breakfast made. So now we've got our matcha. I've got some kolaches. We're gonna go sit on a couch in the living room and we're gonna read some more of this crazy ass book, Carmilla. At some point I will have some update for y'all on some things that I've just been thinking about this today, and I just kind of want to share my feelings and thoughts on some stuff. We are gathered here today to read some more of Carmilla, but I do have kind of it's a vibe shift, honestly. This is going to be a very big vibe shifty conversation, and I hope y'all will stay with me in this conversation here. But this week, a 1-year-old boy in Mississippi was shot and killed by police. I can't even begin to explain to you how devastating seeing that was. I didn't watch what happened. I'm not watching the video. I'm so tired of watching black bodies and brown bodies getting destroyed by gunfire. I'm not watching it. But I heard what happened. Ultimately, the story that was provided was a mother and her infant went into a Walmart, and accusedly, the woman was reported for shoplifting diapers. The police came out, and their version of events is that she tried to run them over with her car. So they opened fire into a vehicle with a mother, a passenger, and a 1-year-old baby. And the police have said that they knew that there was a child in the car. And they still decided to open fire in the car because she was going to hit them with her car. This has been debunked from what I've heard. Again, I'm not watching the video, and so I'm not going to be here to argue semantics of what did or didn't happen in this video. I am extremely devastated that we feel it's necessary to gun down anyone for stealing diapers. It has also been proven that she did not steal the diapers. She did have a receipt for the diapers, irregardless of that fact. Even if she had stolen diapers, I don't care if she stole 75 packs of diapers. I really don't give a fuck how many diapers this woman stole, if she stole them at all or not. None of that warrants you shooting a moving vehicle in a parking lot of people. There's so much endangerment happening in all kinds of aspects. You just opened fire on a car? That's crazy work. What it sounds like from what I've heard is that they opened fire on the passenger side of the car and the baby was in the back seat. I'm presuming that what probably ended up happening was the woman tried to leave, potentially, and they were like, oh my God, she's trying to run away with a pack of fucking diapers and shot up a car? It doesn't make any rational fucking sense because there is no explanation that you can give to warrant murdering someone. You can't. I'm so sorry, but you cannot. I'm extremely devastated for this woman and her family. I will not be sharing a photo of the child because I did hear that the family is asking that they do not share photos of the child. I have seen a photo of him, but I won't be sharing any photos of him. And it just made me think of my own daughter. Like, my daughter's 1.5 years old. I can't imagine, even like in the situation I'm in, right? Let's just pretend even I have been laid off of my job. Our country sucks ass in the regard to healthcare and health reforms and assistance. We've cut off WICs from all kinds of things so people don't have funding that they need, and I don't have a job, and I need to put diapers on my baby's butt, so I'm gonna go steal some diapers. Diapers are $50 a box, by the way. $50 fucking dollars for diapers. Insane prices for some fucking diapers. Insane. And to be clear, that's not how much the diapers actually cost. That's profit margins on fucking diapers. Needless to say, I'm beyond irritated, pissed off, upset, mad, sad, angry, all of the words that you can attribute to something like this happening. This is a tragic situation. This family lost their 1-year-old to police violence. He didn't even know what it was yet to even be lost by it. An insane concept. It's insane that we are also trying to justify the murder of a 1-year-old on regards of whether a mom stole or did not steal diapers. This wouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have happened. We shouldn't be shooting at people over petty theft, you guys. That's insane. And honestly, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't give a fuck if they stole $10,000 shoes. The fucking price of things is made up, by the way. These corporations have billions of fucking dollars. They have insurance policies for shit like this anyway. I don't give a flying fuck about how much shit gets stolen from any of these fuck-ass corporations that are stealing all of our money and paying us dimes to live. Your ideas and the people who are like, well, I mean, there's something fucked in your brain. If you feel like you can justify the murder of a 1-year-old, if you even say, yeah, but, to that statement, that's insane shit. That's the most insane shit I've ever seen. The way that we are warping and twisting our brains around to justify murdering people in regards to billionaires making more billions is fucking insane, you guys. It's insane. I'm very clearly irritated and pissed off and mad. I'm tired of this country that we live in. I just can't. I can't rationalize, understand, fathom, comprehend what is going on in this country. Much less the fucking world, but this country specifically, because it's where I reside, is killing me from the inside out. Kind of on the outside in too. Like, let's be real. All the shit that y'all are putting in the air and in my food is also killing me. But like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Anyway, that's my moment of ranting and raving about the most depressing shit I've heard in a very long time. And it's this shit happens every day. The idea that every day there's something like this happening. Every fucking day, dude. Every day. It's so hard to find any moment of peace, any moment of calm, because every day some bullshit is going on in this fuck-ass country. It's been 18 months. It's been 18 months since this country's been ran by this president. We have 18 more months to go of this crazy fuck-ass story. I really hope the next president and the next electorals in all of the different areas of our government rectify all this bullshit that's been happening over the last 18 months and will continue to happen over the next 18 months, because we got some big shit to take care of. There's so much that has to be turned around so swiftly and so fast, and so much work that's going to have to be done to undo the swift bullshit that has been thrown upon us. Anyway, I'm going to stop. I have kolaches, and I have a silly little lesbian book, and I have a matcha, and I have my antidepressants, which are much needed right now. And I'm just going to sit here and read my book, and I will update y'all once I've finished reading or when I get to another crazy arc of this story. And yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go. It's 10:30. I have to leave here at noon to go get my daughter, and see y'all when I see you. I have to tell y'all how gay this book is. I'm just back to tell you how gay. I haven't read that much, if I'm being honest. Unfortunately, I've only read like 5 pages, and it's 11:30. I was watching Books and Lala. I'm not gonna lie to you. She posted a video of her buying books, spending money and buying books, and I was enthralled. Gavin came on right after that, and I was like, no, I mustn't watch. I must read my book. Please leave me alone. So now I'm listening to ambient sounds. But anyway, the gayest stuff is happening. Chapter 4 is where the gay begins, in my opinion. So we do follow Laura trying to get Carmilla to tell her about herself. And she's like, I'm not going to tell you shit. The only thing Carmilla will tell her is that her name is Carmilla. Her family is very ancient and noble, and that her home is in the direction of the west. And that's all she will tell her. She will not tell her anything else. Even though Laura says she's pressing her to tell her, I still think it's crazy, because Laura's like, I'm doing too much, and I'm asking her too many questions, and it's so inappropriate for me to ask her these questions when her mom already said she's not going to tell us their secrets. Bitch, she's in your house. You can ask her all the fucking questions you want. She does have the right to not answer them. That is up to her. But you get to ask her whatever the fuck you want, okay? That's just my opinion. Anyway, gay stuff. She's talking about how Carmilla keeps like holding her and like whispering sweet nothings in her ear. And she's talking about how she's holding her. I want to read you this because it just sounds beautiful, but it also is terrifying. She says, murmurs with her lips near my ear, dearest, your little heart is wounded. Think me not cruel, because I obey the resistible law of strength and weakness. If your dear heart is wounded, my wild heart bleeds with yours. In the rapture of my enormous humility, I live in your warm life, and you shall die, sweetly die, into mine. I cannot help it. As I draw near to you, you in your turn will draw near to others and learn the rapture of that cruelty which yet is love. So for a while seek to know no more of me and mine, but trust me with all your loving spirit. Beautiful, loving, creepy, and weird. Okay? What do you mean you love me, but also I'm gonna hate you later when I learn who you are? That's basically what she said. And she ain't wrong. I'm almost certain, based on the way that Laura has also written paragraphs around this. But Laura talks about how like uncomfortable she makes her. She's like, she's making me uncomfy. I love her attention, but I don't like her attention. Like I feel like I'm like drawn into her, but like at the same time I'm disgusted by her. And I don't know that it's homophobia necessarily. It could be, I'm not really sure. But I think it has to do with the fact that her body, I think what she's trying to get to is that her body naturally knows that something's off with Carmilla. Something about Carmilla is dangerous and bad. And so while she may be like enthralled with her in a way, she's also like, but something's telling me, low key, she's like, she's got the skin of a killer, Bella. Like, she's very much like, I'm a monster. And Laura's like, yeah, I can tell. I see that. But also you're so beautiful. You're so gorgeous with your beautiful brown long hair and your beautiful eyes and your inset cheeks and your like, girl, she's describing her like a picturesque painting that she wants to lick. Okay. Also, it's okay. Um, but then Carmilla also, another time, she whispers to her, "You are mine. You shall be mine. You and I are one forever." And Laura's like, "Are we related? What do you mean by that?" Laura's like, "So gay isn't a thing. Why are you saying these things to me?" Laura's like, "I'm a child and I don't understand what you're trying to say to me." And then she's like, "Do I like remind you of somebody that you love? But you shouldn't look at me that way. I don't like it and I don't know you and I don't know who you see when you look at me," is basically what Laura ends up telling her. Carmilla is saying some cutesy dootsy things. She is saying some "I love yous" to Laura, and Laura's just kind of like, "Who you talking to?" Who, me? She's the most oblivious, obtuse person, and yet she's also like, so, like, she understands that something's fucked is happening, but she's also just like, who could she be in love with? It can't be me. Girl, if you don't pick yourself up. So I'm interested to see. I'm going to keep reading, but I just had to tell y'all, I had to read those two passages to you because they were written very beautifully. I will say, I love the way that they used to like talk. It's way too much to say so little, but it was beautiful. It was just so poetic in a way, the way that they used to talk, and I love that. So anyway, I'm gonna get back to reading now, but I just wanted to share that with y'all before I have to go pick up my child, and then when I get her, we'll come back and I will read some more until my interview at 2:00. So see y'all then. Hello, you guys. It is Thursday, June 18th. It's 10 p.m. And guess who still hasn't finished her book? Y'all, it is what it is at this point. I have got to stop saying, I should be able to finish this tonight. I should be able to finish it. I'm highly distracted. I'm very, very much distracted right now. And my focus isn't here. It's not in the room with us. I planned to read when I got back home from dropping off my daughter. I sat down at my computer and I started prepping for my interview, and then I got sick. I got so sick, and so I didn't read any before my interview. And then my interview happened, and I was still feeling terrible after my interview, so I ended up having to lay down for a little while. I tried to read some more, and I have been reading since my last update, but I'm not nearly as far as I was hoping. I was hoping that I would be finished with this by now, which I could. If I really wanted to like put my mind to it, I could finish this right now. I'm just very, very, very distracted. So far, I'm on page 185. I am enjoying this book. It is very creepy. It's very weird. The story that she's telling of Carmilla and the things that are happening, it is creepy, y'all. If y'all haven't read Carmilla, I guess if you have read Carmilla, let me know if this was scary to you in a way. Like, it's not the most horrifying thing I've ever read, but it is unsettling. I'm not gonna lie. There's a specific scene that I just read where Laura's sleeping and something happens and it like freaks her out. So she falls asleep in her room. She had taken to copying Carmilla's behavior of locking her door and then checking her room to make sure no one was inside. And so then she's talking about how she's in her room, she's in her bed, she's going to sleep, and she makes sure that all those things are done. She says, "I had a dream that night that was the beginning of a very strange agony. I cannot call it a nightmare, for I was quite conscious of being asleep, but I was equally conscious of being in my room and laying in bed precisely as I actually was. I saw, or fancied I saw, the room and its furniture just as I had seen it last, except that it was very dark. And I saw something moving around the foot of the bed, which at first I could not accurately distinguish, but I soon saw that it was a sooty black animal that resembled a monstrous cat. It appeared to me about 4 or 5 feet long, for it measured fully the length of a hearth rug as it passed over it. It continued toing and froing with the lithe, sinister restlessness of a beast in a cage. I could not cry out, although, as you may suppose, I was terrified. Its pace was growing faster, and the room rapidly darker and darker, and at length so dark I could no longer see anything of it but its eyes. I felt it spring lightly on the bed. The 2 broad eyes approached my face, and suddenly I felt a stinging pain as if 2 large needles darted an inch or 2 apart deep into my breast. I woke with a scream. The room was lighted by the candle that burnt there all through the night, and I saw a female figure standing at the foot of the bed, a little at the right side. It was in a dark, loose dress, and its hair was down and covered its shoulders. A block of stone could not have been more still. There was not the slightest stir of respiration. As I stared at it, the figure appeared to have changed its place and was now nearer the door. Then, close to it, the door opened and it passed out. That sounds so terrifying. That sounds like a nightmare. Literally, like, that sounds like the most horrifying. To have a bad dream and then wake up to see a figure standing at the end of your bed that you can't fathom and comprehend. That sounds so terrifying, you guys. Like, horrifying story. And then, of course, Laura tells Carmilla about the story, or she goes to tell Carmilla about the story, and Carmilla's like, oh, let me tell you about my dream that I had, and basically recounts the same thing happening to her, but that nothing happened to her because she had this amulet thing. And so Laura was like, oh, I felt more assured, so I grabbed my amulet and I put it in my bed with me. And from then on, I slept peacefully, but I woke up every day more tired and listless than the day before. But she doesn't think she's ill. But her dad's like, you look sick. And she's like, nah, I'm chill. I'm good, Dad. Don't worry about it. And she doesn't know why she's saying that, because she knows that she looks bad, but she doesn't technically feel bad. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Carmilla also has been saying some wild shit to Laura about dying and loving her to death. It's crazy stuff. Like, it's just so crazy the way that she's behaving. To say that this is a Sapphic romance, I don't know if there's more quote-unquote romantic love stuff that's gonna happen, but this doesn't feel very lesbian. It feels very, I don't even, like, disgustingly terrifying. It feels predatory, which Carmella's a vampire, so she is a predator technically. It feels just predatory. It does not feel like a romance. So I don't know. I'm interested to see what ends up happening and what comes of the situation, but it's crazy. But I was saying, y'all, I've been getting distracted. I had my interview. My interview went well, I think. I didn't hear back from the HR lady after the interview, but I presume that that's because they close shortly after I ended my interview. So I'm assuming that I'll hear from her in the morning. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping that I hear from her in the morning and that it doesn't take longer than that, because they've been very quick to respond to me every time I've communicated with her. So I'm hoping that I hear something from her in the morning. After my interview, everything was fine after that. I just was not feeling well. So I'm just been feeling really sick after my interview. I got really sick before my interview. I wasn't nervous, but I guess my body was nervous. So I had some bodily responses. And it just really upset me, and I was just feeling really bad. But we made some breakfast for dinner, and that was really nice, and it was very gentle on my tummy, so that felt good. But then I was sitting here reading, and I'm reading Carmilla, and I'm sitting in my room. It's kind of semi-dark, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put on some ambiance on the TV. That's some spooky ooky ambiance to go with my spooky ooky story, because it's getting spooky ooky. And I turn on the TV and I see a video from Gavin. And it's like, it said that the title was like something about like his worst nightmare come to life or something like that. I don't fully remember what he said. I'm gonna pull it up. So I have my computer open because I was like researching stuff while I was like watching his video. I'm in the worst situation I've ever been in. And he's talking about, a few months ago, he mentioned to us members, in a member sprint, that he had been taken over, he had gone under management contract. And I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm so happy for him. I don't hear a lot of bookish people talk about being under management. So I thought that was really cool. Like, you're doing really well then. That's amazing. And hoping that like that leads to him having more brand deals, all that stuff, right? But like he was talking about it and he was kind of concerned about some things. He was talking about how like they pitched him their ideas for his channel and how to like help him better optimize his channel. And he like was telling us about like how the pitch went, and it just doesn't align with who he is as a person and his brand that he's already created for himself. And so it was kind of weird what they were suggesting of him. It just didn't make any sense, right? And so he was like, it was just very weird. But I hadn't heard anything since then. But then I see this video on YouTube just a little while ago. And again, it's titled, "I'm in the worst situation I've ever been in." And he's talking about how he apparently is being managed by Joshua Evans, who is the ex-husband of Colleen Ballinger, who was in the Swoop documentary about Colleen Ballinger and the Adam McIntyre stuff. If y'all aren't chronically online, y'all probably have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Quick, short summary. Colleen Ballinger, Miranda Sings. If you don't know who that is, then none of this is going to matter to you. She was grooming children online, allegedly. I don't know how legally you need to speak about that, but Adam McIntyre came out about his story about him being groomed by Colleen Ballinger online and her sending him inappropriate messages and talking inappropriately with children when she was a grown woman, and how she was suggesting that she would send him her unworn, but regardless, lingerie to a child in the mail. Like, there was just some weird shit that's gone on. She refuses to acknowledge it. She refuses to like do anything. The ukulele video happened. I'm sure you've all heard about that. And that's kind of where I've heard about all of this, where all this spun out from. She was married prior to her current husband. She was married to Joshua Evans, and he talked about abusive relationships and mental health struggles and all of these things, whatever. Apparently Gavin and him have followed each other on socials for a long time, and he reached out to Gavin suggesting this company that he works for, this management company, and how he wants to sign him and they want to do all these things. It's not working out. It's not going well. Gavin, in the video that I watched, was complaining about his payment because I guess now, like from this video that I just watched, apparently some way, somehow in this contract, all of his money that he earns on YouTube is going through this management company, and then they pay him. I would never in my life agree to something like that. That's absolutely crazy. And I don't know what state he was in that he felt like this was an okay, acceptable agreement. I couldn't imagine ever. I would never. If you said that you wouldn't sign me unless I signed over my bank account to you, I would say, then I guess we're not working together. No, thank you. Never in my life. But he did it. And like, that's not, no shade to him, no shame for him. Like, you do what you do. He thought that he needed this, and he took a chance to try and help his channel. And I get it, because he felt like he knew who this person was from a parasocial understanding. But it turns out this guy is like, he's just not good. He's not a great person. There's a lot of stuff blowing up again about him and Adam McIntyre and the Colleen Ballinger stuff. And he's been like blowing up and posting random hate videos. I don't know what's going on. I haven't looked into it because I don't care about that man. All that to say, though, Gavin's in a terrible situation where he's stuck in this contract with this company potentially. He's concerned that he might lose his channel. He's concerned that he may not see the funds and revenue from his channel. Like, he doesn't know how this is all going to play out. They did send him an email as of today saying that on Monday he would be off-boarded from the company, that they agree that, you know, he did that. This isn't mutual. This is a mutual agreement that they don't think that either one of them is fit for each other, and that they need to just exit the contract, and that they will be exiting him out of the company on Monday. But like, he didn't explain that process or how that works. As a project manager and someone who has kind of worked as an account manager in a way, I don't understand how you're not giving your client the details, regardless of whether you feel like this relationship between you and this person is shitty or bad or whatever. you should at least like, okay, we have agreed, this is what we're doing, we're outlining, here are the steps and here's how it's going to go and here's what's going to happen, play by play by play, here's what you need to do, here's what we're going to do, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. He has no one else he can contact, he has no one else to reach out to, the studio's not responding to him, it's just this Joshua person, and he can't get anyone to give him a straight answer. Joshua's not messaging him back in a reliable amount of time, he doesn't seem to be interested in like really having conversation. Gavin mentioned something, and I think that this is part of where he like might have messed up, in the sense of like when he emailed Josh, he mentioned like, I saw you've got a lot of things going on online between you and Adam McIntyre. I would have never mentioned any of that crap. I would have just been like, here's how I'm feeling, here's where I'm at, this is what I need, how do we accomplish this? But he mentioned it, and Joshua seems very kind of narcissistic based on these emails that I saw, to the point that he's just like making everything about him. And like Gavin writes this long like 8-paragraph message to him, and the last paragraph is him saying like, I see that you're going through some stuff and I see like things happening online, I would appreciate a quick response from you, I know you've got a lot going on, but like help me out here. And his reply back to Gavin is just about the situation of what's going on with him and Adam McIntyre online right now with the Colleen Ballinger stuff. And it has like barely anything to do with his actual questions and concerns and things that he brought to him. And he's not responding in a timely manner. Like Gavin will send him in an email and he'll respond with something completely outside of what Gavin's asking for or what Gavin's talking about. I cannot stand when a person does not respond to the direct thing that I'm outlining in my email. That is something that pisses me off so badly. Also, I don't know like what normal processes are with like management companies for things like this, but I would have also like, I need a phone number, I need a contact number for you, the company, somebody needs to give me a contact number so that I can call someone if I have any questions or concerns and you're unavailable. Because what happens if you're on vacation and I don't know about it? Like, who do I reach out to then? There's no way. There's no way. But anyway, I don't know. I hope that whatever happens, Gavin's able to get his channel back. I'm worried that he posted this video and they've already told him that they were going to terminate everything on Monday. And I'm hoping that that doesn't cause some like negative backlash for him. I don't know if posting that video was like the best idea. I am concerned for him. Just from like a legal perspective, I'm concerned for him for like his channel and like the potential of them like being like, well, now that you've smeared our name and you've basically done defamation to us online, we're keeping this money, or we're going into a legal battle now and we're not terminating until that legal battle's concluded. Like, because this is a US based company also. And so like Gavin's in the UK, but like the way things work here in America don't work the same way they do in the UK. And I don't know what international laws are like for companies that work across country lines, but like, I don't know, that's very concerning for me, for him. I feel bad for Gavin. I hope that it resolves quickly and swiftly and easily. But he was saying that he still hasn't gotten paid out from his May earnings, and it's the middle of June, and he has like all these bills that are coming up due. And I'm just like, how in the world are these people holding his money hostage? Like, I'm so confused how that happened. Like, he didn't go into detail on like the money thing and the connection of the accounts and all of that. PSA, be careful with the scammers out there in the world, because they be scamming, y'all. They really be scamming, and it's crazy. And it's crazy too, because the studio that he was talking about, he said it's Studio 71, and they have like big names as a company of like who they work with. Like I saw Trixie and Katya were a part of Studio 71. Like some big names that I personally like would like, that I watch or participate in or whatever, or like consume, I guess, content consumption. So like, just like sounds very yikes. But I don't know, crazy stuff. So I'm, like I said, highly distracted, but it is 10:15. I want to try and finish this. I'm about to watch another YouTube video. I used to be not like super engaged in political commentary stuff, but as of the last 18 months, I have been very engaged in political commentary stuff. I was engaged like slightly prior to the Trump administration taking over, but I hadn't like really been involved in like getting too deeply involved, but now I'm like super into it. Anyway, I'm gonna watch a podcast episode, I don't know, a YouTube episode from Philip DeFranco, because he has his episode out for Thursday, and so I want to see what he's talking about, because they were talking about the Iran. That's not right, girl. That's not right. No, it's the Iranian deal that Trump made for the Strait of Hormuz. So I'm interested to see what that's about, because I've been wanting to see someone's commentary on like, what is the deal and what did we agree to, because it sounds sketchy to me. It doesn't sound like we agreed to something good. It sounds like we agreed to something even worse than what we had before, but whatever. So I think I'm gonna watch that really quick, and then I'm gonna finish reading Carmilla for the rest of the night. I need to get me some snacky snacks. I'm feeling real snacky like. And then tomorrow, I want to finish this book tonight, because tomorrow afternoon I want to edit the video, because tomorrow morning I'm going to be with my best friend, and I'm going to go get my nails done, and I'm so excited. I haven't had my nails done, I don't even know, it's been a very periodically amount of time. I want to get something fun done though. I want something spooky ooky, I don't know, fun and whimsy. I want something cool. I need to look at my like nail inspos online to see what I can find, to see what potentially I could get done that's not like too crazy, because I don't got a lot of money, y'all. I don't have a job. But my friend wants to go get her nails done really bad, and she needs a self treat, she's going through a lot. So we're gonna go do that, and then have some lunch, and then I'll come home and edit my video. So I want to finish reading it tonight, so that's my plan. I'll stay up as late as I need to finish it. It shouldn't take me long. And I do have the audiobook on YouTube that I could continue to listen to. I just haven't been. I've been raw dogging this book and reading it with my bare eyeballs and nothing else, which is probably why it's also taking me a while, because I get distracted easy if I'm not listening to something else. I probably need to put my over-the-ear headphones on and like really lock in. I haven't had an ambiance on, which is not good. It doesn't help. And I also haven't been listening to the audiobook, which isn't good, because that doesn't help. I need help focusing. My focus needs more focus. So anyway, I've been yapping for long enough. So I will come back and update y'all a little later when I have, I don't know, more of an update. Why, hello. Long time no see. Today is Wednesday the 24th. My last clip I filmed that I was talking was almost a full week ago. Needless to say, I never finished Carmilla, but I did just finish it just now, so I have an update for you. But yeah, I've unfortunately just been very bleh as of late, and haven't really wanted to participate in anything. Anyway, so I have just not been feeling super great, and have been feeling very bleh as of late, and just had lack of motivation and interest in doing damn near anything. So I didn't. And instead of forcing myself to do something that I don't really feel like doing, I just let it ride. I will say it gave me a lot of anxiety not finishing this, and not finishing the story and my video and all of that. Like, it definitely like made me feel like, ooh, what am I doing? But I needed to take the time for whatever reason, and I took it. I am feeling better today, and I was feeling motivated today. I painted the rest of my living room and kitchen that I had been putting off for literally 2 years at this point. I finally finished it. Well, not fully finished. I have a few spaces to do, and then I need to paint the ceiling, but nonetheless, I did a lot of that today, and it just made me feel like, you know what, I'm going to read. I want to read my book. I want to finish it. It is end was such an interesting story, and I wanted to finish it. It's not that I didn't like it, but I just wasn't feeling it. So anyway, I have now since finished Carmilla. I just finished it. And to say that this is a Sapphic romance, I think could be perceived as a stretch. I'm just going to say, I think that they wanted, the story is basically saying that the reason why Carmilla was doing what she was doing was for a like romantic sort of reason, that she fancied herself to be like, essentially like that the reason she was doing it was a loving reason or like a romantical reason. Let me read the like exact spot. Hold on. Okay, yeah, here it is. The vampire is prone to be fascinated with an engrossing vehemence resembling the passion of love by particular persons. In pursuit of these, it will exercise inexhaustible patience and stratagem, for access to a particular object may be obstructed in 100 ways. It will never desist until it has satiated its passion and drained the very life of its coveted victim. So ultimately they're just saying that like enamored so much that it's being correlated to love, but it's like not inherently love. So again, I say to say that this is a Sapphic romance, I think is a little facetious. I don't think that this is like truly a Sapphic romance. I do think that there is like some like gay tendency, some gay like I see you kind of stuff, but like, is it outright gay? No, this is not outright gay in my opinion. Maybe at the time that was seen as very gay, but in today's standards, like, she might have just thought you were pretty, bro. Like that's the vibe it gives. It's like, yeah, I can see a woman and think that she's pretty. That doesn't mean that I'm in love with her. And also, like, we're conflating again the idea that because she thirsted for Laura's, right? It was Laura. Yeah, but because Carmilla thirsted for Laura's blood, it was akin to love in a passionate way, but like akin to, not that it was. So anyway, to say this is a Sapphic, I disagree with. I will also say I felt like towards the end, we were just trying to get out of the story. It felt very much like, okay, I'm done writing this, so I need to wrap it up kind of vibes. It felt very rushed in a way. Again, like I said, I feel like the person writing it was just like, yeah, I don't want to write this anymore. So I just need to like hurry up and quickly end this, because we finally, like, the general who was supposed to come and see them finally comes to see them, and he basically just blows everything up and tells them about vampires, and like everyone's pretty chill about it for the most part, and no one's like really freaking out about the concept of vampires and what this man is saying happened to his daughter. I don't know, people were behaving weirdly and just being like, yeah, no, this is super chill and super cool. It was just odd. The general comes to their home on their way to Carmilla's castle, which was the ruined village that was like however far away from them. They're on their way there, and he tells them this whole story about how his daughter, and he'd met this woman and her kid came to live with him, and it's like this, it like literally pictured the same exact story that we're dealing with Laura and her dad and Carmilla is the same story that this man had with his daughter and this girl. And it's just kind of like, okay, but like no one acted like, oh my god, you're being so crazy, what are you talking about? Like everyone was like, are you sure, bro? And then they were like, oh my god, I'm so convinced. Very odd, very weird. Also, like, our final scene with Carmilla and, like, Laura seemingly finding out that Carmilla is a vampire. Like, one, Laura's dumb. They make Laura stupid in this book because they're talking about all of this stuff around her, and she never puts together that Carmilla was a vampire until the writing of this, which is, like, she's 20-something at this point. Be real. Be for real. Be so serious right now. She's not this stupid. You didn't see Carmilla act crazy and all of a sudden vanish out of nowhere, and like you don't believe, like you believe his story, you don't think his story is crazy, but then you're like, but Carmilla like wasn't home when I got home and I never saw her again. Yeah, bitch, duh. Like I don't know, y'all. I did think it was good for what it was. I thought it was very interesting. I wish that it had been a little more exciting. I feel like, again, the way they wrapped it up was just kind of like, okay, here, point, done. Like, we gotta cover all these bases and now it's over. I don't know. I felt like we had so much detail about getting to Carmilla and then Carmilla being there and then what's happening to Laura. And then when we finally start learning what's going on, it just feels like it went whoop, and it was over. So, I don't know. That's my feelings. I think I'd probably give this, I'm leaning somewhere between 3.5 and 4. I'm not fully decided because it wasn't bad. I did like it. I loved the writing style. I liked the way that we like followed this path with Laura and how she told the story. I really enjoyed all of that. I just wish that the way it ended had been a little bit more interesting and climactic. It was a little too easy for me. It wrapped up a little too easy. There was no like big fight to like kill Carmilla or to end all of this vampirism that's happening. Like, it was just kind of like, oh, and we found the body and we killed it and now it's over. And that just seems really lame to me. I don't know if that's a 4-star or a 3.5-star vibe. I'm feeling like 4 because I liked everything other than that part, and I don't want the ending to just be the reason why I dislike this book. Because I loved everything about it until we got to the ending where I was like, oh, that's it. Womp womp. No battle scene. No big reveal. Like, kind of easy. Kind of boring. So yeah, I think I'll settle on a 4. I enjoyed it. Now I'm excited to read actual Dracula. So I'll read that at some point this year. I don't know when. And see how I feel about the comparisons. And I hope that Dracula has a more interesting story and we have more of a like battle and fight and I don't know, more interesting stuff, because the way this ended was meh. It was kind of womp womp. But again, if you aren't me and you don't procrastinate your life away, this is something you could definitely read in a day. If you're interested, I highly recommend picking it up. It's very short, very interesting, and it's the precursor to Dracula, so really cool to find out. But Sapphic, I don't know. You can be the judge of that. You read it and you let me know if you think this is really Sapphic or not. I would love fanfic of Carmilla. I know that there are adaptations of Carmilla out there, and I think one of the books I have is actually that. So I might read that this month and see. This month, like, this month's not almost over, y'all. Time has gotten away from me. Again, it's the 24th. The month ends on Tuesday. This is the worst reading month I've ever had so far. I had so many plans. And you know what? That's okay. Sometimes it's a hard one, and sometimes you have a tough time, and that's all right. So, all that yapping to say, update on job stuff. Over the last week, since I haven't seen y'all, I have had so many interviews. I have my final interview with one of my options tomorrow. This will be technically the 4th interview, but they're calling it the 3rd, and I'm really hoping that it goes well and that I get the job. So I'm very excited about it. Thank you all so much for being here and for keeping up with me and keeping me company, and I'm so sorry that this is so delayed, but it's done now, and I need to look at all of the other books that were on my TBR to see if there's anything that instantly grabs my attention that I want to read right this second. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, and if you're not subscribed, why? I lost my job. You should subscribe. I lost my job. You should subscribe to my channel. Let me just guilt you really quick. Also, it's Pride Month, and I am a part of the community, so if you don't subscribe, that feels like it would be a hate crime. And I know that you're not a hateful person. I know that you're not. So come on, subscribe. Please, please, please. I would love it so much. And thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.